During my driving lessons, I always pass the same place. And every single time, my instructor and I see the same street cleaner sweeping the exact same part of the road. Every time. Seriously. It feels like he has only one single script, and nothing else was programmed into him. I'm sure you've met people like this too. People who feel like they're just there to fill the world around you and play their role in the story. For example, cashiers in stores. Have you ever noticed how similar they can sometimes feel? Like they have the same phrases, the same reactions, even the same actions, you know? Almost like it's one character that was copied and placed all over the map. But what if things aren't that simple? What if the people around you, in the subway, on the street, at school, at work, or even at home, are just NPCs meant to make the world feel more alive? The most interesting question appears. What if you are someone else's NPC too? So today, we're talking about NPCs in real life. First, let's understand what an NPC actually is. NPC, or non-player character, is a character in a game that is not controlled by the player. They exist inside the game world, but they follow their own programmed behavior. Usually, they repeat the same actions, say the same lines, and stay within the role they were created for. They don't change, and they don't grow. And of course, they don't go beyond their assigned script. In modern internet slang, the word NPC is often used to describe people who seem like they are simply following a social role. Working, repeating ideas they've heard from others, living the same routine, and rarely stepping outside their usual path. For example, teachers, factory workers, office employees. To some younger people, it can seem like these people are stuck in one storyline and aren't trying to do anything more. Because nowadays, it's popular to be ambitious, become a millionaire, grow a social media page, and achieve success. And everyone who isn't doing that can sometimes feel like they're just background characters. But where did this whole idea about NPC even come from? Let's start with one of the most famous theories, the simulation hypothesis. The idea is simple. If some civilization eventually reaches a level of technology where it can create realistic simulations containing conscious beings, then it would probably create an enormous number of these simulations. And because of that, statistically, it becomes more likely that we are living inside one of those simulations, rather than in the so-called base reality. And you know what's interesting? This theory actually explains some strange things pretty conveniently. For example, Schrodinger's cat, which we talked about in the previous video, maybe it's just the system saving resources. If nobody is looking inside the box, why waste energy rendering every single detail? Or déjà vu. Maybe it's just a small glitch while loading a new area of the map. Or those weird moments that sometimes happen in real life. Recently, I went to a spa and found a remote sauna where there was absolutely nobody. The whole area was empty. I walk in, 30 seconds pass, and suddenly people start coming in. One person, and then another, and then one more. For about a minute, people kept appearing, one or two at a time. And I got this strange feeling that I arrived too early, and the location simply hadn't finished loading and filling with characters yet. Of course, it was probably just a coincidence. But when you look at it through the lens of the simulation theory, it sounds pretty weird and fun, I guess. And the most interesting part of this theory is the idea of a simulation inside another simulation. Imagine this. We live in a virtual world created by an advanced civilization, but that civilization itself exists inside another simulation, like a real digital Russian doll. Yeah, it can blow your mind. Now let's talk about another theory, solipsism. It suggests that there is only one true consciousness in existence, yours. Everything else around you, people, objects, events, is simply a product of your own perception. Everything that annoys you, like a crowded subway in the morning, and everything that makes you happy, exists only inside your own mind. This theory was probably invented by narcissists. Because if you think about it, everything is created specifically for you. The sun rises in the morning just so you can see. People enter your life just to entertain you. Every event happens around your personal story. But jokes aside, solipsism actually explains the idea of NPCs quite well. If other people are only part of your perception, then their lives almost don't exist from your point of view. And that could explain why some people feel so similar. Have you noticed that your classmates or coworkers sometimes remind you of people from school? I mean, the same personality types, maybe similar phrases, and sometimes even a similar appearance. Maybe the reason is that our brain simply saves resources. It doesn't try to create a completely unique model of every single person around us. Instead, it uses familiar patterns. So, we figured out what NPCs are and why this idea became popular. But now comes the biggest question. Who are you? NPC, or the main player who is meant to complete the most important story of their life? At first, it seems obvious. If you are even thinking about this question, then you can't be an NPC. But let's look at it from another perspective. The chance that you are the only real consciousness in the universe and everyone else is just a background decoration is incredibly small. Most likely, you are just as much an NPC as everyone else. Your sense of self could simply be a very advanced script that creates the feeling of free will. Your decisions might be influenced by your upbringing, your experiences, or maybe your environment and your biology. Your memories shaped you into the person you are today. And your main objective? Simply follow your path and occasionally say random dialogue like, "Looks like rain." For some people, this idea can be scary. Because if everything is a simulation, then what about our friends, our families, the people we love? All the experiences we go through, does that mean nothing is real? But even if this world is just a simulation, does that make your emotions any less real? Does happiness become meaningless just because it can be explained by chemical reactions in your brain? You know, it doesn't matter whether you are an NPC or a player. The important thing is not letting these thoughts take away your enjoyment of life. If this world is a game, or even just a creation of your own mind, then why not play it in the most interesting way possible? Why not fill it with everything you want to experience? Maybe more people should think about that. And now I want to hear your opinion. Do you believe in the simulation theory? Do you see yourself as an NPC or as the main character of your own story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep making more videos.